What's up everyone, it's me Mad38 and we're back with another video. Today we're going to be talking about something which follows up from yesterday's video, which is the level scaling issue. And a lot of topics mention this. It's that leveling in retail is too fast. From like level 1 till level 60, you're extremely overpowered as a character and you basically have no difficulty whatsoever. Also, on top of that, gear is practically meaningless and you're like sort of swapping it in and out, and people just don't find it as engaging or as fun as leveling, say, in Classic. So, I thought I would tackle today what is causing this issue and how Blizzard can fix it and what the issue in the system is. So, let's jump straight into it. First of all, just before you know anything, there are a few things you want to know about like the game design in retail. One of which is invisible stats. These are stats your character or your class has or your race has, regardless of whether you've got gear on. And what might cause them is something like a talent. So here it gives me 10% armor and a stamina increase of 5%. That is what I mean by like an invisible stat. And then there's also racial stats. So these have been baked into the game since Classic and Vanilla, and I don't think Blizzard have probably touched them since. And these are your leveling stats. As you level up with a character, you will get more stamina, regardless of whether you got armor which has stamina on. So no matter what, your character is always gradually gaining power as you level. And that's what I mean when I talk about a base or an invisible stat. So as you can see right now, my character has got covered in greens, oh no, not greens, in greys and common gear, but he's currently got 325 strength, or his base stat would be 307, but because I've got these boots on, they give me +3 strength, which equates to +18, giving me a total of 325 strength. So another thing which, again, levels 1 to 45, and I think it probably increases on a curve up from 45, is that leveling with your damage is strength times by 3. So here my strength is 325, so my base damage for spells and stuff will be times by 3. So hopefully that sort of makes sense. So 1 strength equals +3 damage on my spells and stuff like that. So that's all cleared up. That's all good. What's the issue then? So effectively, these invisible stats are massively inflated, and I'm just going to pull up my Excel document which I created today. So as you can see, leveling from 36 to 41, and this is me entirely in greys, my strength is 144, 155, 166, 178. This is how much level increases. So when I was level 36, I increased my strength by 11. When I got to level 37, I had no gear or anything. So how does that look like in the damage you're actually dealing? So because I've got 144 strength, it basically means, or let's do 37 here, or let's go down to here, 41, because this is where I think I measured the gear at 41 or 40. So at 41, my strength is 207, which means the damage increase from my base stats from my character just having no gear whatsoever is actually just naturally 690. And that I cannot change. My character will always do 690. And because I'm a paladin, I get a 10.8% buff, which I think is from talents. So 10.8% plus onto 690, or 10.8% on top of 690 equals, I don't know, 69 plus that. So what is that? 750-ish. Okay, 760, let's just say, because of 10.8%. Then you've got your base multiplier, and this is again affected by mastery, so 10.8% equates into this. So Blade of Justice, for example, 24.5, and then you give it an extra 10.8%, which equates to my total damage from one spell being 735, 792. This purple column is the output, so that's how much I'm dealing against an enemy. So at level 41, with no gear whatsoever, I'm already dealing in the health pool. What is this? This is literally, 8 hits from my Blade of Justice will kill, a mob with 6,837 HP. The balance issue, which is causing like these ridiculous level 10s who can just storm through a dungeon and like kill everything, is entirely from the base stats of your race and class. And if Blizzard fixed this, they would fix the leveling journey where your character is not this like overpowered Terminator who can like kill like 20 mobs at once and there's no challenge or difficulty in the game at all. So you've got massively inflated base stats. As you can see here on the second column here, which I'm going to just highlight here in orange, here we go, weapons and armor stat range, strength range. So each item generally carries, and this is just heirloom based stats. So if you quest or something, you might get an epic item because it's RNG. That could give you like 30 strength. So the base item strength level, the base modifier you're going to get from each item is going to be about 16 to 21. So if you have 9 items, you're basically doubling your Blade of Justice damage. Okay, and that's only from 9 items of strength. Now, if you've got a full slot of strength items at level 40, 41 or whatever, you are tripling or quadrupling. You're taking like at maximum value, potentially like 378 plus onto whatever 207 or 192. You've got like 568 strength, or 570 strength in total. Which, if you look at how much damage that affects your Blade of Justice, it goes from 735 to being around, 1,867. That means you kill a mob with 6,837 HP in 3 hits. Just because your character's base stats are so overpowered and overly inflated. Now, as you go into later levels, and I haven't really looked into this on the systems level, the strength point changes. But again, I don't know enough about this just yet. But this is just what I've learned today. And the system just doesn't make sense. How would you fix it? How would Blizzard or someone be able to do that? Well, it's actually really simple. You basically nerf the base racial stats. If you do that, you won't be forcing players like myself or every other player who comes to WoW and going, oh my god, this game's so easy, there's no difficulty in it whatsoever. If you reduce the base modifiers, the base stats your character gains as he levels, you won't need to be leveling in greys to kill basic enemies without one-shotting everything. And yeah, that's where I'm going to leave the video.